If you pulled up a Littleton, Colorado map recently, you're probably not trying to memorize the street names. You're trying to figure out where Littleton actually fits inside West Denver and whether it makes sense for the life that you're building. Because on a map, Littleton looks like a large but simple area, but in real life, where you land inside Littleton can completely change your commute, your daily rhythm, and how connected or maybe how disconnected you actually feel from the rest of the Denver metro area. So in this video, I'm not giving you a tour or reading off neighborhood names. I'm going to use the Littleton Colorado map the way that buyers actually do, as a decision tool. And by the end, you're going to know where in Littleton truly makes sense to live, or maybe where it might not, and how to tell if it belongs on your shortlist after comparing other West Denver options. So when you look at a Littleton, Colorado map, the first thing to understand is this. Littleton, it isn't one single experience. It sits on the southwest side of the Denver metro area, right where city access, foothills, and open space overlap. That's why people get confused, because depending on where you land in Littleton, your day-to-day life can feel very different, because Littleton stretches across Arapahoe County, Jefferson County, and Douglas County. So that alone tells you something important. This certainly isn't a cookie-cutter suburb. Some areas feel closely connected to Denver and Lakewood, easy access to major roads, light rail, and work hubs, while other areas feel closer to the foothills, more space, more quiet, and more separation from the pace of the city. So when someone says, I'm thinking about moving to Littleton, the better question is, which part of Littleton fits how you want to live? And from a West Denver perspective, Littleton acts like a bridge. It connects Denver to the foothills, urban convenience to outdoor access, and busy work weeks to calmer evenings. And that middle ground is exactly what some people love and what others realize isn't quite the right fit. Quick note here, if you're also curious about what day-to-day life in Littleton actually feels like, I do have another video on my channel, and it's going to walk you through that side of it in greater detail. And this video is more about helping you decide whether Littleton belongs on your short list or not. So feel free to check that one out anytime. Now, maps show distance. They don't show how a commute feels. From Littleton to downtown Denver to the Federal Center, and also major employment areas. They're all very reachable, but the experience does vary. Some parts of Littleton offer direct routes that feel efficient and predictable, while other areas feel more structured. Now, you're not far, but you're intentional about when and where and how you go. That difference matters because for many people, it's not how often they commute. It's about how draining it feels when you actually do. Littleton tends to appeal to people who like knowing what their day is actually going to look like. Not rushed, not chaotic, just steady. So here's something that people don't always say out loud. When people compare Littleton to other West Denver cities, they're often really comparing cost of living, not just home prices, but what it costs to live there month after month. Littleton's position means you're not paying for downtown intensity or mountain town premiums, but the costs do show up differently depending on how you live. Now, some people notice differences in maintenance and utilities and how hands-on their home actually feels. Others notice it in driving patterns, errands, and how predictable the monthly expenses actually are. The map explains that because Littleton tends to support a more consistent daily rhythm, and for many people, that consistency reduces friction over time. Another thing the map quietly reveals is housing pattern. Littleton homes, they tend to feel practical and livable. The layouts are designed for daily comfort, yards that feel usable, neighborhoods not built for constant turnover. And in some parts of Littleton, you'll also see more ranch-style homes. And you might see that more so than in other West Denver cities, which is an added bonus for some but certainly not a requirement. And this kind of detail is you don't always notice until you actually live it. So who does Littleton actually work for? Littleton often makes sense for people who want their lives to feel more settled than rushed. It's a strong fit for relocators, especially those coming from out of state who are looking for clarity once they certainly arrive, or people who don't want to keep second guessing whether they chose the right location. Littleton offers structure, not rigid, but predictable. It's also a good option for people who are looking to move closer to others. They want to spend more time with them. Not because everything is next door, but because getting together just feels easy. Close enough to show up consistently without feeling like your entire week revolves around trying to get there. Littleton also appeals to people who are thinking long term, people who want to choose once and feel good about staying put for a while. It's not about excitement that you're going to see every day. It's about life working smoothly on most days. All right, here's a quick check. Do you value predictability over spontaneity? Do you want access to Denver without living right in the middle of it? Or do you want your home to support a steady, comfortable routine? If yes, Littleton often belongs on your shortlist. Now, if you're craving constant energy or maybe everything to feel immediate, maybe another West Denver city would fit you better. I'll just share the story for context. I live in Littleton, closer to the foothills. And for me, that's the sweet spot. I have easy access to trails and open space, but I'm not isolated. Now, daily life feels calm, but I'm still well connected to West Denver and Denver itself. And that balance is exactly why Littleton works for me. Not because it's perfect, but because it supports how I want my days to flow. And helping people figure out whether that same balance works for them is a big part of what I do every day. And if Littleton is on your short list, the next question is usually, what does another West Denver city feel like? How do I compare them? So in my next video, I'll break down what it's really like living in Golden, Colorado, and how it fits into West Denver from a day-to-day lifestyle perspective. That's a great one to watch next as you continue narrowing things down. Until then, remember, life is short, live somewhere awesome, and be well. We'll see you next time.